Hey guys, welcome to Live Conversations with the Kelvins.
And here's a recap of last week's episode.
The purpose of dating is to marry the person you're dating. So then the right season to engage in a dating relationship is when you're ready to get married. If you're not ready, don't date.
Okay.
Feelings, emotions, attraction to members of the opposite sex begins early. Maybe late preteens or early teens, when adolescence kicks in. So then I will be left with a question. Does God choose our spouses for us? Join us next time as we answer the question, does God choose your spouse for you?
Does God choose a date for you? So, did God choose me for you, baby?
Nah, I think I made the choice myself.
Okay.
This is what I think. God guides and orders our steps, but then we've got to involve Him. It's said that God is a gentleman.
Yeah.
When you involve Him in something, He's gonna come in. When you leave Him out of something, He's gonna wait until you invite Him. So I think it's somewhere in Scripture it says that trust the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will guide or order your steps.
Yes.
So I don't think God chooses someone's mate.
Yes.
I believe God directs someone to His preference for them.
Okay.
Because marriage, dating, relationships, and salvation. Salvation is way more important than marriage. Salvation is eternal, marriage is temporal. So if God doesn't choose salvation for you and I, so how then can He choose? What justification will there be for Him to choose my mate? So I believe the right response to your question is God guided me to you and He led me to you. And then I started now checking you out with my physical eyes and seeing, does she have what I really want? Let me see the size of her ears, you know? And many a time I've had this question asked. So I want to get married. I want to settle down.
Yeah.
So I'm praying and trusting God to give me someone.
Yes.
Well, God doesn't give you someone. He leads you to someone.
Okay.
And then you've got to choose. When you look at Scripture, when He created the institution of marriage, He creates Adam, and then He comes and says, every other animal has a mate, but Adam is just playing around with insects and he's alone. Of course, I'm paraphrasing. And He says, it is not good for man to be alone. Let us make a helper suitable for him. So, babe, God causes Adam to sleep. You remember that bit?
Yeah, I do.
After realizing that Adam didn't have a mate.
Yes.
So we don't have a record of Adam praying and
Right.
asking God to send him someone. It's God Himself who saw.
Yes.
So He causes Adam to go into a deep sleep and takes the rib out. And out of that rib He fashions Eve.
Yes.
You remember?
Yes.
Then Adam is seated enjoying the breeze, sipping his mango juice and just conversing with the lions in the Garden of Eden. And God comes with Eve. And Adam goes, wait a minute. She is surely bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. And she shall be called woman.
Yeah.
And you see, if God is the one who picks our spouses or our mates, it will have begun in the first marriage institution.
That's right. Yeah.
When you read on Scripture, a woman is paraded in front of a man. It is for the man to make the decision. Because if God was to make the decision and then the marriage fails, then we will have the right to blame God for a failed marriage.
Babe, I noticed that Adam didn't pray to ask God for a mate. It's God who noticed that Adam was alone, if you put that word. And at some point I was wondering, what is this alone alone issue. Then I remember in the last episode you mentioned purpose.
Yes.
So I think that in the place of having a mate in your life, there's a specific disposition you should be in.
Yes.
There's a specific way you should be in. I think state of mind, your heart, everything about you.
And what you're doing.
Yes. Your purpose in life. What preparation? How prepared are you? What do you think about?
I think I will begin from where you mentioned Adam didn't pray. We need to put it in context because at this moment in time, they are in the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
Sin has not yet come.
Right.
So it's still perfect. So God and man are walking in tandem.
Yes.
The heartbeat of God was the heartbeat of Adam.
Yes.
So it was very easy for God to see exactly what Adam needed and come in and do it. Because it was still a perfect environment.
Yes.
But in our context, we are now after the Garden of Eden.
Right.
So sin has crept in. Now you and I will need to seek God a little bit more.
Yes.
For not just spouses, but other life issues.
Yes.
But when you talk about the aloneness,
Yeah.
we normally get into relationships because you're feeling lonely.
Right.
But God never gave Adam Eve because of loneliness.
Yes.
It was because of aloneness.
Yes.
Aloneness meaning he was busy doing what God asked him to do. Then God realized he needed help.
Right.
He needed a mate.
Yeah.
So being alone means you are complete in who you are, in your identity, in your purpose, in your vision, in your work, in God. For someone else to come in. We have this popular statement, my better half.
Yes.
If God created you whole, why would you describe yourself?
Why should I get half again?
As a half.
Yeah.
So if I'm walking in my purpose, then God in his wisdom will drop whatever I need, including the need, the desire of a spouse, of a date, when I'm in my purpose. Let me share something personal with you.
Please do.
Before God paraded your work in front of me, okay? I had actually decided that I'm not going to look for a girl until she came along. Let me use those words.
Okay.
There was no need in my heart for you or for a girl. I was so busy doing what God has called me to do.
Yeah.
That's when God dropped you along my path. Are you getting the point?
Yeah.
So the need to get into a relationship is not loneliness.
Yes.
It is when you discover who you are, what God has in store for you, what He's called you to do. Now you can pick a mate that is in line to the purpose of God in your life.
So I think most of us make a mistake when we focus too much on getting a mate that it becomes a priority in our lives. Personally, at that time that you noticed my catch off, for dating in and out, I felt I was tired. I was thinking, will I ever get, it looked, this thing, I thought it's too much for me. Do you know, I'd actually decided I wasn't going to get married. I told myself,
So I'd been missing all this?
Yeah. I told myself, let me just get married to Jesus, I said, when will I just ever find what I really wanted? So I decided, I don't want it anymore. I was going to just stay back and keep to myself.
And it's amazing because God works in so amazing ways. When you are deciding to be married to Jesus, I was talking to God behind the scenes.
That's right.
Because you can say you acknowledge God in stuff, and then you acknowledge Him selectively.
Okay.
So equally, I was coming out of a relationship.
Yes.
And I remember this is what I told God. I was in my one-room apartment.
Yeah.
And I told God, I've chosen girls for myself enough times. And my selections, my choices never lead me anywhere.
Yeah.
So God, I've left this whole issue to you. You see, this is the thing about surrender to God. In as much as He's given you the free will to make life decisions, you can still surrender to Him out of your own free will and ask Him to guide you further. So that's what I did with you.
Okay.
Because I had previous relationships, and in all of them I never involved God. So this time round, sitting down out of a lot of emotional pain, having come from a breakup. I told God, I have made my selection several times. Truly speaking, it doesn't end well. This time, help me out. And I never even said amen. And from the time I told God those words, the need to have a girl in my life went away. And like you, I started focusing on serving God. And I didn't have this notion, this feeling that my friends are dating, they're going out, they are hanging out, they are doing blah, blah, blah. I never had that at all. I was totally fulfilled in God. And I think the best place to begin a dating relationship is to be fulfilled in God. It is to love Him so much that He decides to give you someone to showcase His love for you.
I agree. I think, like you said, when I totally focus on God, God knows us. He's the one who made us. He knows everything about me. He knows my weaknesses. He knows my desires. He knows your desires, the person who I'm really thinking, this person that I want to get to be with. So when I just focus myself on God, then that it's like He prepares that other person for me. Whoever he is or she is, He prepares that person to, like you said, okay, I was the one paraded, no, you paraded. Okay, but he prepares you wherever you are, and He like creates an environment for us to meet. Just like as you remember, it was a dinner organized.
Singles dinner.
Yes. And at that time, I thought, okay, since it was like I don't know if it was paid for. Yes, it was paid for.
God paid the bill.
And so this lady comes and tells me, you've been paid for. So I just go. And that day, apparently, I was dressed in a way that it would actually suit the evening
date,
kind of
a dinner.
Yes. And so in my mind, I thought, I was telling myself, will I really get someone new? Will I really meet someone new? So at the back of my mind, I said, Lord, I hope I'll meet someone new today. I was really anticipating to meet someone new. And so we reached this place. It was in Safari Park Hotel.
Safari Park Hotel, yes.
So I enter into this place and I look around and I'm thinking, there are actually more ladies than men. So I thought, okay. I said, okay. And then next, I'm looking around, I'm thinking, hey, well, I don't see really anyone new. But then
any potential.
Yes.
Little did you know that your Adam was your driver that day, was seated right next to you. I think that's a memorable night for me. One thing that I'll never forget is the way you were laughing at my jokes. One, I don't think I'm funny, but the way you would laugh, I just wanted to keep on talking, and I would bully you, teaching you how to use your phone. You remember? Your first Android phone. And I will tease you, and your laughter not only tickled my heart, but my spirit. And I believe that was God leading me. But then you see, after the date, my spirit is tickled, my eyes liked what they saw, and my heart was beating towards you. So I started texting you, hey, good morning, how are you doing? How's your evening? And you didn't reply. And I started getting mad and angry. And I psyched myself up. I puffed myself up, and I had this Superman feel, indestructible. I'm gonna give her a piece of my mind. Who is she to ignore my SMSs? Then comes the day I was ready for war, and I saw her strolling in church, and Superman went, and my heart became jelly. And you see this smile? Yeah, that smile. And I came to you very humbly. So, Monica, I texted you so many times. You didn't even reply. I don't even remember what you said. I was focusing on your smile and the way your eyes light up when you smile.
Actually, I said, okay. So I
really?
Okay, I said, okay, I'll text you back. And I think I remembered that evening and I texted you back. So I think that's how it started.
The journey began.
And
you see, the beauty of it is, both of us were not hungry for a relationship. We were not lonely. We didn't get into each other's space because we were lonely. We were dropped into each other's space. Now, there's something I said a bit earlier that I want to clarify a bit. God knows our purpose, and when you're walking in your purpose, you've got to pick a spouse that is in line with your purpose.
Yes, yeah.
God will never give you or lead you to a spouse that is headed the opposite direction. But it is for you to interrogate, will this fit? What we call compatibility. Are we compatible together? Because I have a calling, my purpose is in ministry.
Yes.
What if yours wasn't?
That, like you said, the interrogation part is for you to find out, can I match? If maybe I wasn't called to such kind of ministry like yours, I think someone is to ask themselves, let's say you would ask yourself, will I be able to live with that? Will I be able to handle that? Because every decision we make comes with its own sides, if I would put it that
consequences,
way. Yes. So I think just like you said, in the interrogation part, finding out, just like we after we started texting, then you started finding out, okay, what is this lady like? And as you're finding out, this is the friendship kind of part we want to develop, not just the way in our times right now, I like you, you like me, and you like my figure, and we get straight into it. We don't even know, you don't even know what kind of food I like. You don't, many things. It's like we don't want to find out a lot of things about one another. This finding out stuff, I think it is the interrogation part that you're talking about. So I may be able to know, what is your vision in life?
Exactly.
Do I really want to get into that space? Yes. So that I be able to really weigh and know, no, I don't want to get in, or okay, we can work this thing out.
True. This time that we were becoming friends, I was not necessarily enjoying your beauty physically. Well, I was enjoying it, especially when we were walking on the streets, and guys will look at you and I would feel, she's mine, or she's gonna be mine, because I hadn't popped the question yet. I was really interrogating your heart and your mind. Yes. I will share a lot about my life, what I want to do, who I want to be, what I see myself doing in 50, 40, 30 years. And what I was looking for were your responses. Were they towards the positive or the negative? Because when you become my wife, you literally dissolve into me. So if the dissolving doesn't happen willingly, then we will clash a lot in our marriage. So I will throw statements like, I want to have 7 kids. And maybe you thought it was just a normal conversation. I was really looking, as far as getting children is concerned, how many do you want? But I knew if I asked the question directly, probably the answer I will get will be a fixed answer. And guys, this is why you've got to be creative in the way you interrogate your lady to be. Find a way of asking questions without asking questions, so that when she answers, she doesn't answer with her mind, she answers with her heart. Because the issues of life lie in the heart. I remember this one scenario. I wanted to test if you'll be submissive to me, if you will listen to me. Because you know this whole independent woman, I can't listen to a man, rubbish and what have you. So I said, let me test this woman. So you came to lead a prayer meeting wearing that trouser. There was nothing wrong with it. It wasn't wrong in any way. Then when we greeted each other, I told you, by the way, babe, I prefer you don't wear this trouser again.
Can't even remember that.
I was good at what I was doing. That's why you can't remember. So I didn't have an issue with your trouser. I really even didn't have an issue with the way you dressed. But I wanted to test, will you listen to my instructions? When you're my wife and I tell you don't do something or do something, are you going to be submissive? And I had baited the hook. I waited for you to bite. And do you know, 3 days later, you told me you have actually given that trouser away.
Wow, I totally cannot remember that.
And for me, it showed me your heart. One of my mentors, by the name of Reverend Matthew Ombo, said some words that are very deep. He said, you've got to offend someone's mind to reveal what is in their heart. And when he initially said those words, I was like, so why do you need to offend my mind? I mean, we have a relationship. Why does offense reveal what is in me? But when I went home and thought of those words, I realized the moment you are offended, your guards go up and your true nature come to the surface. And so you see, in asking you to do away with that trouser, unknowingly I was offending your mind to see what was in your heart.
That's right.
And baby, your heart is beautiful.
Thank you.
And from that time, I have always the need to question your heart sort of died with that time. Because you can't be two things at the same time. You're either honest or dishonest. So this period of dating and courtship, the interrogation is supposed to be so intentional and sometimes repetitive. So that you can fully know the person you're tying the knot with.
That's right.
You get it wrong in the marriage decision. There are levels in your life you'll never hit.
I agree.
And so couples have got to learn to spend quality time together before they get married and really interrogate. Ask future questions, ask vision questions, ask integrity questions, ask honesty questions, ask drilling questions to reveal who a person is.
So babe, you're right. The interrogation really helps one to find out who the other person is. So it helps build a friendship. And hey, babe,
tell me.
I think in all the other relationships that I was in, I was looking for leadership.
Okay.
Looking back, the way I was in and out, I was looking for leadership. I think I didn't find it a lot in the other guys. And in few words, you are not a man of many words. Okay, now you've become,
you've influenced me.
But that time, you had few words, but you really showed direction. The first day that you had decided to marry me, you told me your vision, you told me your 5 years plan. I thought, oh my, that was good. You told me what you wanted to do, where you're going. You gave direction in small things. I remember when sometime when we were dating, we fought over a spoon. Like we fought for 3 days.
She's lying.
Over
She's lying.
Spoon. So he decides I liked using my hands when I'm eating. So I was eating githeri, rice and maize and beans mixed together, cooked so nicely. So I was really hungry, and we were among like 5.
In a social setting.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm there. I've taken my githeri. So I've started eating, and then he decides he becomes angry. So he tells me I'm embarrassing him in front of his friends. I'm thinking, really? How is using my hands embarrassing him in front of his friends? So that became like, whoa.
Our biggest fight.
That was our biggest fight.
For 4 days?
3-4 days almost.
Yeah.
So we couldn't understand one another. I was wondering, okay, so what is the issue of eating with my hands? What is wrong with it? And him is wondering, why can't you use a spoon? But I came to realize, like, you're the one who mentioned, when we have, it was like a culture kind of thing. I'd lived around people who liked using their hands a lot. More than feeding. A spoon, yes, when you're feeding. And he hadn't experienced that in his life. So he's wondering, why are you using your spoon? So as day 2, day 3 came and we started, we read a book.
Yes.
Who's the author? Who's the author?
The title is Many Communicate But Few Connect.
Yes.
That should be by John Maxwell, if I'm not wrong.
I'm not very sure. So we actually found out that we were talking, but we were not connecting to one another.
We were talking at each or to one another.
The author said we should be looking toward the same direction, not
facing each other.
It helped us a lot because we found out we want to settle this issue. So that means we're looking in one
The goal
direction.
is the same,
It's
yes.
sir. So we actually we came to find out there's nothing wrong with eating without a spoon, and there's nothing wrong with eating with a spoon. So I just came to learn, okay, you don't like it that way in front of people.
Yeah.
So I toned down and we came to an understanding, and
life has been spoony ever since.
Yeah.
And then you see, you bring out the aspect I interrogated.
Yes.
Submission. Because by the time we were done solving this fight, it was clear she was using a spoon because of her past orientation. I was uncomfortable with it because of the type of food being eaten. But when we sorted it out, we agreed there's nothing wrong with it. You know what she did? She said, I will not eat using my hands anymore. Now that is a lady who is submitted. That even when she is not wrong, she will accommodate her spouse's preference. That is submission. And I think you are an epitome of submission, my dear queen. Yeah. Which brings me to something else I really wanted to share with our audience today. You've got to read and read widely when you're interrogating each other. You've got to read many books on communication, on relationships, on love, on marriage. Because marriage or relationships, they are not built on love. They are built on knowledge. So the less you know, the harder you're going to have, the harder the relationships you're going to have. But the more you know, the easier it's going to be for you to relate with your significant other. Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Dr. Miles Monroe says that too. There's a verse in Proverbs, Proverbs 24. He says, a house is made with, he mentions wisdom, he mentions knowledge, and he mentions understanding.
Yes.
That with wisdom, you used wisdom to bring me in, to actually note, okay, where do I which girl do I want? So you used wisdom to find out, okay, this is the particular kind of girl that I want. But to sustain what you have now in your house, because the way the Bible puts it in is to fill it up. It says you need understanding, you need knowledge, you need knowledge to know what to bring inside, and you need understanding in how to arrange everything,
where
that
to
is
place
inside.
it.
So just like you've mentioned, reading it's paramount. It's not something that you put as a side thing. It is really paramount for you to understand one another. That is Dr. Miles Monroe, the late Dr. Miles. He mentions it a lot, that knowledge is important. Knowledge is what makes it. Even the Bible puts it in 1 Corinthians 13. If you note, it talks about love. It doesn't mention anything about emotions in the part of love. It says love is patient. We need patience, not even in the time of dating, even in marriage.
After,
So even in this time that we're dating, I should actually find out, how patient are you? Like you said,
a bit of the interrogation.
Yes, we should find out how to coin it so that it's not very direct, that I'm testing your patience. And as we are checking out, how patient am I? How kind am I? How am I around people? Not just the two of us. How am I? As we continue on to get to know, where have I reached? Am I willing to change? It really gels our friendship. And this far I've learned how deep your friendship goes, even in this time of dating. It helps you over when you get married. It helps. Sometimes there are this, you'd say, small arguments. It really helps, cover them up much more. And someone once told me that the things that when you're doing during dating, they were kind of in a small scale. When you get married, they kind of blow up, you know. So when we become friends, when we've nurtured our friendship during this dating period, this interrogation period, it means even when we are married, it will not be a struggle, because what we had before, it's like we're just continuing in on the other side. So I think, like you said, interrogation really helps build a genuine kind of friendship.
And gives couples an opportunity to know what they're getting themselves into. And I agree with you about the gelling, because what I have realized these 3 years I've been married, what we experienced in our dating is exactly what we experience in our married life. Only that this time it is amplified because we are living together. So any couple who misses out on the interrogation bit gets to know the true nature of their partner after the wedding night.
Yes.
And that is recipe for drama and for trouble. Because you begin feeling and thinking, this is not what I wanted to settle for. But the truth of the matter is, you did not interrogate when you should have. Hence, trouble is coming when it shouldn't be coming.
Yeah.
So the friendship bit, building a genuine friendship before the wedding is critical in having a happy marriage. And I'm happy I married my friend.
Me too.
I mean, we chase each other in the house,
Yeah.
pour water on each
Nice.
other. We sleep anywhere, on the carpet, on the
Yeah.
sink, wherever.
Yeah.
And by, babe, I really enjoy doing life with you. Sometimes you are more of my friend than more of my wife. I think for me, the wife bit comes second to you being my friend. That you're this person I can talk to about anything, anytime, and for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And thanks for being my friend.
Thank you for being my friend.
Yeah, it's been awesome, right?
Yeah. Welcome back to Life Conversations with the Kelvins.
Lord, I really desire to kiss her lips. You know I do. Should I? How far is too far? Join us in our next episode as we answer this question.
You've been having life conversations with the Kelvins.